Anyway, I was a big fan of the Bill Murray movie back in my childhood. It's still a good, Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a place.
So you know what his deal is, right?
Bill Murray.
Punxsutawney.
Yeah, Punxsutawney Phil. Okay, so the guy who can predict whether or not it's going to be an early spring. That's the
So how's he do that?
Concept.
How's Phil do that?
It's whether or not he sees his shadow. If he sees his shadow, then there's 6 more weeks of winter or something.
How does someone know if the groundhog sees its shadow or not?
Dude, this is harking back to the whole superstition and all that sort of stuff. We need, they just make it up. These blokes, these dudes with the top hats, these guys.
The elite.
Yeah. They just decide whether or not he sees his shadow or not. Let's be
Maybe
honest.
he does get scared by his shadow, though. Maybe he's not used to seeing his shadow, and then he turns around and he sees it and he jumps. And that's how they know.
Could they guarantee 6 more weeks of winter if they got the groundhog and they showed it its shadow? There it is, right there.
Oh, yeah, maybe. But, okay, so so that's Phil, right? We know what Phil's up to. We know how he does it. We don't really know if he's got any magical powers or not yet. Okay, but
right,
there's a whole bunch of different species that are vying for this weather predicting crown.
Yes, of course.
This mob, BBC, have analysed the past 5 years of predictions from America's biggest animal forecasters.
Fantastic. So we're talking the octopus that tried to predict the World Cup. We're talking about all those guys. Who's the best?
Yeah.
Who can we rely on? Is Punxsutawney Phil full of shit? We need to know all this stuff. This is important stuff. Yeah, what are the results?
Okay, so I just had a quick look at this article, so I have to try and digest it as we're going. But it says here the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, America's official source on climate information, has weighed in on Phil's accuracy.
Excellent.
This is exactly what we need, stacking his predictions against the national temperatures in February and March. So we'll start with Phil. According to their analysis, Phil's a distant relative of the original prognosticator from 1886. I didn't realise that. But of course
it's a line of predictors. He's Nostradamus's grandson.
He's the chosen one.
Yes, he has been chosen to be in a burrow until a certain time and then comes out, and whether or not it sees its shadow controls the weather. Go on.
He's of the right bloodline. So he's accurate 40% of the time over the past decade.
That's not great.
That's not great, is it?
Was his old man better? You know what I mean? Was the OG was just fucking bang, 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 100%? You know what I mean? And this guy, he's fucking, he doesn't deserve the right.
He's a cheap imitation.
To be called Punxsutawney Phil.
Perhaps not. I don't know how. Maybe he's better than his predecessors. I'm not sure.
Could be, but 40% is not great. But anyway, go on.
So BBC has applied that methodology to 4 other animals. So this is the lineup.
Great.
And maybe you can even make some predictions once I tell you who we've got here. We've got Scramble the Duck from Connecticut.
Okay, Scramble the Duck. He sounds pretty reputable.
Bee Cave Bob, an armadillo from Texas.
Well, I like the sound of him.
Sand Mountain Sam, an opossum from Alabama.
Oh, they're frightening.
What? Opossums?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know what they are. It was a spelling mistake.
So how I describe an opossum, if you're riding around in Red Dead Redemption 2 and you get really scared because something's screaming at you, but you don't know what it is, and it's not deadly. It's an opossum, and it's screech. It does a screech.
Who says he can't learn anything from video games?
There you go. Yeah, bang, bang.
Spot on. And the last one, number 4, Snohomish Slough, a frog from state of Washington.
Where's the octopus? Where's the dolphin? Where's the smart animals? We need the smart animals predicting shit, not these fucking...
No, but one of them might be smart.
Which one?
Well, we don't know. So you're right. You're quite right. So it says here, if the animal saw its shadow and predicted an early spring and March temperatures were above average, they considered that a correct prediction.
Ah, I see. This is their their criteria. Sure.
Yeah. Okay, so Phil, accurate 40% of the time. Do you want to make a prediction? So you've got Scramble, BK Bob, Sand Mountain Sam, and Snohomish Slew.
I hate the names. I wish I just knew the animals, but I'll go with the armadillo.
Okay, duck, armadillo.
No. I'm going to go with the duck.
opossum,
I'm going to go with
frog.
the duck. I'm going to go with Scramble the duck.
Okay, so Phil was 40%. That's our benchmark because he's got the royal bloodline. So you can assume that he's got some skill, perhaps more than your average groundhog.
Yep.
So the frog, Snohomish Slew, was accurate only 20% of the time.
20%?
20%, that's it.
How do you even get a gig predicting stuff if 20% is your hit rate?
You think you would just give up on him, right? Flush him.
As a predictor, maybe. Yes.
Okay, now the really spot-on forecasters. This is what you wanted.
Yeah,
You want the smart ones.
We want someone we can trust, yeah.
B Cave Bob, the armadillo, and Sand Mountain Sam, the opossum, were both 100% accurate over the past 5 years.
Holy shit.
I like that probability there.
That's really
like
good. So it's the first one to fail. You dump them. It's either the opossum or the armadillo at this point.
Yeah, we should actually monitor this. They're predicting if it's going to be in early spring.
Same thing as Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah, all predicting the same thing.
All predicting the same thing.
So Scramble needs to be put to death because never actually got it right. Wrong every time.
Right, so that's it for him?
Still going, still predicting, as far as I understand.
Yeah.
And this, apparently, the Connecticut General Assembly, from where Scrambles is from, declared Scrambles, and I quote, the most accurate weather predicting duck in the Northern Hemisphere and possibly the world. You can make a reliable prediction based on what he's doing. If he's always wrong, it's just as good as being right all the time.
It's the Costanza effect. They should have called him Costanza.
So the groundhog, the whoever Sand Mountain Sam, and the Snohomish Slew all predicted early springs, and we haven't heard yet from B Cave Bob, the armadillo, who's got 100%. He's 100% accurate. So.
But when do you have to predict by? Because surely there's an expiration date on this. You can't just predict the day before and go, yep. So it's got to be.
I think you're trying to. Yeah, you do have to at some point. You have to predict whether there's going to be. Yeah, you do have to at some point, don't you? But yeah, I just found that interesting that there was other animals that are having a crack. Why should the groundhog be the only one? Why you don't want him to have a monopoly on this market?
And
competition's a good thing.
I don't want to bring a downer on the whole thing, but people for the ethical treatment of animals object to the event, claiming that Phil is put under stress. They suggest replacing Phil with a robotic groundhog. How do we feel about that?
That's dumb.
Why is that?
Well, Phil's got pedigree and he's probably treated like a prince.
Nah, man, he's in it he's not doing this for the money or the fame. He's doing it to be the best predictor he can be and to honour his lineage, to be a good predictor as best he can be and to leave a line of strong predictors for the future.
What about this? Let's get 1,000 chickens, because no one really seems to give a fuck about chickens, right? We kill them like by the droves.
Well, apparently, yeah.
Okay, let's get 1,000 of them, okay?
Why do we need 1,000 chickens?
Hear me out. So we get them to do a 50-50.
Yeah,
okay?
Yep. Heads or tails?
Yeah, heads or tails. Who knows whether they see their shadow, don't see their shadow,
I see what
whatever
you're trying
it is.
to do. You want a bigger sample size.
Yeah. How many times do we have to do it before we can put a chicken in front of someone and say, this one's made... Yeah, the probability, how many cycles?
Right,
so how many? So we go, okay, 500, 250, 125. What's half of 125? 60, bloody 2 is close enough. 31, 15, 8, 4, 2, 1. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so if we have 1,000 chickens,
Yes.
chances are we can get it to have 11 50-50s.
Yes.
And we can have this golden chicken that we can put out there and say, this one's predicted a 50-50 11 times in a row.
In a row. And now it's ready to do your prediction, whatever that is.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so he's the best chance we've got at a good guess here. That's
because I wonder how many of these animals are out there in the world doing 50-50s right now. And we always hear about, the octopus that got, 5 World Cups in a row, right?
Right. You know how you do this? Because it does sound a bit unethical, but to make it slightly more unethical, we make it into a reality TV show called The Hunt for the Greatest Predictor, right?
Yes.
And we could even replace the chickens with, get this, people.
Squid Games.
Well, yeah, but you're just guessing 50-50s, right? But at the end of it, you've got this super predictor, right? He's ready for the big prediction, which is the series finale, which is where you get him to predict something, I don't know.
Important.
Important or profound or something.
Okay. And we do a men's competition.
Okay.
And a women's competition. And then once we do the best of the best of the best, and you have the best man and the best woman, then you get them to copulate.
Showdown.
No. They have a baby.
Oh, they have a baby.
And it will never be wrong.
Yeah,
the problem we've got is we're just all breeding and none of us are good at predicting. So we're just spreading these genes around.
Right, the bad predicting genes.
No wonder we don't know shit. We can't figure stuff out. I'm so bad at betting.
No wonder we're relying on groundhogs and octopi and stuff to get predictions done. We're pretty bad at it, right?
Terrible.